Hello, everyone watching on YouTube, because I just started recording. We're gonna do content. Everyone likes tier lists, right? I don't know how long this is gonna take. I don't know how much I want to go into like individual badges. Some of them are just obvious, some of them are not obvious. Some of them are, I don't know. We'll go through them in a decent enough order. I don't know if I'll do them like actually in order as they're shown, because I'll pick at random. Picking at random sounds fun, and by random I mean pseudo random, because you know humans can't do actual random. All right, let's start with something obvious. 74, please. Let's start with something obvious here. Last stand. S tier. Was it gonna go any other way? No. So before I go like too far, all of these ratings are gonna be based on like how efficient they are at being fast badges to use, or just like making combat better. Last stand goes in last stand tier. Last stand is so good that honestly, like, finding that alone is almost always a good enough reason just to go Danger Mario. Like, the other badges like Power Rush, Mega Rush, everything else is like nice, but last stand alone, being able to just like shift 2 of your levels into BP and have it not really matter, kind of good, because BP in general in Randomizer is just incredibly good. And since I mentioned it, we're gonna throw Power Rush right up there next to it, because if you already have Last Stand and your HP is capped at 5, well, Power Rush is just more damage, so it's kind of just a freebie. It goes here, right? I don't see any other way to put it. It's literally just free damage. I think the next part might surprise people. I actually don't know if this is surprising or not, what I'm gonna do. But Mega Rush? Where do you think I'm putting Mega Rush? Just at chat, out of curiosity, where do you think I'm putting Mega Rush? A. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm putting Mega Rush in A tier because it is really good, but it's also very situational. So, yo, Black Tiger, congrats on being first. Yo, Pete. Yeah, no, Mega Rush is A tier. Mostly because it's so situational, right? It's really good damage output, but you can't rely on it. And it's not necessary. Like, I would never say that it's necessary to have Mega Rush. It is a nice to have, usually at the end or against specific bosses. But with Randomizer and Shuffle difficulty, there's a lot of bosses that you can't reasonably always get Peril. So that's kind of what I'm putting Mega Rush in A. It's still really good, really broken with everything else, but it's not necessarily like as necessary as like Last Stand and Power Rush. Let's go and pick something that's let's go and pick a freebie. We'll go with the new badges real quick. This is Auto Jump and this is Auto Smash. Let me let me do this. And while we're, no, that's not entirely true. It's not like that bad. Here, let me change the color also. We'll get there, Axel. The thing about auto jump and auto smash is that all it is your basic jump and your basic hammer attacks. Except it does the action command for you. That's literally all it is. So you could just not spend FP and BP and just press the A button or hold the control stick back. Like, I don't... They're just so bad that it's not even worth like thinking about them beyond that. And since chat did bring it up, we're gonna put I Spy down here. I Spy, it tells you where the panels are, but if you're playing Rando with panels enabled, you can auto enable I Spy if you really want to. And also you should just know what rooms have panels if you're playing with them randomized, in my opinion. So that's about it for those. How could you not play the most fitting music being Ralph's Bad Shop? No. Yo, what song is this? Oh, it's BN5. Okay. Yo, Palos. Alright. This next badge that I'm gonna pick, this is a randomizer quality of life feature. We just went over this, Palos. Thank you, Orox. This is normally a quality of life feature, but in the case where you decide to not enable the quality of life of being able to see enemy HP, I'm gonna put Peekaboo in D tier. It's not worthless, but you should just enable the setting anyway. It's very valuable to be able to see HP, so that's kind of why I'm putting it like not worthless, but also you should just enable the setting. So yeah. What's another good badge here? All right, I'm actually gonna grab these at the same time. HP plus and FP plus. I'm putting them in S tier because more often than not, they are value, pure value. So even in the case where it costs 3 BP to equip them, it's flexibility. Upgrading BP and just having HP plus or FP plus to equip is flexibility. And if in the case where they're cheaper, like 1 or 2, it's literally just free Power plus while you're at it. Honestly, yeah, I'm going to put Power plus in S tier. Mostly because even at a high BP cost, you're probably still equipping it in Randomizer when you get it. It's pretty hard to pass up Power plus. You might not be able to put on more than 1 every seed, but you're likely going to be doing so. So it's just a pretty obvious damage increase. I don't really have much else to say about Power plus. I guess in the same vein as Power plus, PFD down. This is tough. I think I'm gonna put PFD down in A tier. It's really good, but that defense decrease can make a difference. Danger Mario tier should be above S tier. Listen. If we separated out all the Danger Mario badges, we would be only left with garbage. PFD down. I'm putting it in A tier just because of the defense decrease. It's going to more likely be valuable than Power plus, but I don't know. And All or Nothing is just Power plus. For all intents and purposes, All or Nothing is just Power plus with a different BP cost, because I'm going to make the assumption that you as the player are able to hit action commands And because I'm making that assumption, All or Nothing and Power Plus are the same thing. I will, since you literally brought it up, I will take P down D up. Where is it? Here it is. Worthless. Decreasing your damage output in Paper Mario is not good. I'm sorry. And speaking of decreasing your damage, I know people are going to be upset that I'm putting HP drain and mega HP drain in Worthless. Honestly, okay. They can go in D tier. They're so bad. It's so, like, decreasing your damage output in Paper Mario is just so, it's so bad because then you're restricting your damage to mostly just partners. I don't know. I can't ever justify HP drain or mega HP drain. It's just not worth the little tiny amount that you heal when you could have just killed the enemy instead. You know? That's really like the gist of it. Why heal when you can just kill the enemy? Because it lets you sneak around Clubbas? No. It goes in Worthless. Sluggo is never, it's not a badge that you pick up. And also, like, while we're like throwing stuff into Worthless, I'm gonna throw the Hammer Charge badges down there. All three of the Hammer Charge badges immediately go in this Worthless tier. Also Deep Focus. And Super Focus. So the thing about charging your hammer is that if you charge your hammer once and then attack on the next turn, you do typically less damage than if you had just swung your hammer 2 turns in a row. Therefore, why would you charge your hammer when you could just use your hammer 2 turns in a row? Big brain right there. Massive brain. All right, let's grab another badge here real quick. Runaway Pay. Ooh. Runaway Pay, actually, I would have placed Runaway Pay differently if this was like a month ago. So until recently, we dropped experience when running away, and Runaway Pay was able to prevent that. But that's no longer the case because they made it an option. So basically no one drops experience when they run away, and Runaway Pay is therefore like not... Ooh. I'm gonna throw it in D out of obligation. Like, it's not good. But if you're getting encounters and you have that option enabled, kind of like Peekaboo, like, you should just not have that option enabled. But if you do, it's there for you. And I guess in a similar vein, Speedy Spin, like, you should just have it enabled. Like, if you have the badge, I guess equip it. It costs BP. That sucks. But... and it doesn't do anything for you combat-wise, but you should just have Speedy Spin always on anyway, so, like, why do you not? I don't know. It's a nice badge for movement, and I will put it in D tier just because if you turn off always Speedy Spin for some reason, I guess you can equip it. Yeah, there was a very large thread, mostly of just backlash, Pete. You had like a dozen people saying the feature was stupid, and not a single person saying that they wanted it. So I think that was what it took to sway some opinions. All right. Let's do AoE badges kind of all at the same time. We have 3 different Quake badges and we have multi-bounce. So I'm going to start with Quake Hammer and I'm going to put that in C. It's really nice to have area of effect badges and attacks, but Quake Hammer doesn't really do enough. It doesn't scale with your hammer, and it only does 2 baseline. It's good enough for if you're fighting like Dark Koopas, but you'd still rather have the other badges. So it goes in C tier. It's like, okay. Similarly, multi-bounce is not like that great. I'm honestly gonna group multi-bounce with Quake Hammer. It's pretty weak. It obviously, like, if you have a million badges to support multi-bounce, it's good. But those badges also support Quake Hammer, so it's like, it's kind of the same. And also, this badge is auto multi-bounce. This is just multi-bounce, but it does the action command for you. So like, it's the same thing. That's why I'm gonna group these 3 together. They're good if you have the support for them, but baseline, they're not like necessary, you know? They're not incredible. And I'm gonna put Power Quake and Mega Quake on the same tier in B. Power Quake is typically cheaper, and Mega Quake is still really good. Baseline 6 damage on Mega Quake, even if you have your like the basic hammer, is really good, even if it costs a lot. Like, there are times where I would use Mega Quake, even if I don't have like even if I can only do it once, let's say. There are times where I would do it, just because it's effective. It's a lot of damage. And Power Quake is just more likely to be like more usable for 2 less damage. So, Power Quake and Mega Quake are like staples. You're never really upset to see either, and you'll probably use either one of them if you can fit them on. Also, there's this new badge called Quake Bounce. I'm kind of torn to put Quake Bounce in B or C tier. I think I'm gonna put it in B. I'm gonna put Quake Bounce in B. I think the action command is too hard, but it scales off of damage really well. So it's effectively a power bounce with a quake effect. It's really cool in theory. Its baseline damage is always 1, but it does increase with damage increasing badges like Power Plus, so that it does like the sort of same decreasing scale of damage as Power Bounce, where it would do like 3, 2, 1, 1, 1 until you drop it. I'm gonna put it in B. It's really interesting. It's also like very cheap typically from what I've seen. I think its vanilla cost is probably pretty cheap. Yeah, Quake Bounce is pretty decent, but I do think it requires another badge to be like good. And that badge is Ride-On. I'm gonna pair Ride-On and Quake Bounce together because I don't think most people would use Quake Bounce without Ride-On, unless you really grind the action command. The way that Ride-On works is it will always do the action command for you for any attack you're using. And with Quake Bounce, that's really nice because the action command is really dumb, in my opinion. I've gotten it a few times, but it's very bizarre how late the button press is. And Ride-On guarantees that you get 6 bounces off of Quake Bounce, which is probably more than enough all the time. Yeah, Quake Bounce is not like super broken without damage scaling. Badges like Power Plus, but it's really good, like really good. But I'm almost tempted to throw Quake Bounce into A tier if the action command wasn't as hard as it is. So I'm gonna leave it in B. I'm gonna leave it in B, just because of the action command. Maybe my opinion would change if I ever like got good at it, but I think the action command is too hard to put it up higher, because I don't think it's reasonable to be consistent at it. At least not right now. I guess since we talked about bounce, I'm gonna put Power Bounce in S tier. Do I have to say anything about Power Bounce? Do I have to explain Power Bounce placement? What song is this? Was that a skip? Why wouldn't I? Power Bounce lets you bounce basically until you miss your action command. Yeah. Would Ride-On be a lot lower if Quake Bounce was easy? Yeah. I think that Ride-On and Quake Bounce get paired together. I think that wherever Quake Bounce is, you probably put Ride-On like next to it. And you probably group them in like a mid tier. I don't think you would ever use one without the other. So I kind of consider them 2 badges for 1 ability. Shouldn't have a cap. Power Bounce is broken. Power Bounce is how you kill fights in 1 turn. It's absurdly broken. And it's only better. Power Bounce is only better with Super Jump Charge and Jump Charge. And this is Mini Jump Charge. It gives you +1. I'm gonna put it in D. So Super Jump Charge is a +3 to your starting jump. Jump Charge is +2. Mini Jump Charge is +1. I don't know why you would ever use Mini Jump Charge. It's probably not even worth even equipping this badge unless you have badge synergy. Jump Charge is a slow alternative that gets you +2 every turn, and that's not like... You usually want to use Super Jump Charge, but you can be like, oh, I'll just Jump Charge, it's fine. It's not something you want to do though, but it's sometimes good enough, which is why it's still like in B tier. Oh no, ads. I guess I can wait a second here. While the ads are playing, okay, it's just my speaker. Do I need to like revisit any badges? Does anyone want me to revisit a badge real quick? I know Palos asked about the gold badges because he wasn't here and came in like 2 seconds after I talked about them. The gold ones and the worthless are just, it's auto jump and auto smash. They just, it's the basic attacks, but the action command is done for you. For those that don't know what those badges are, if you missed that earlier. Also, yeah, this song is like the best part of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, by the way. Okay. Oh, Star mentioned group focus earlier. I forget this badge even exists. Oh, hey, look, you can make your you can have your partner use focus. Ha ha ha. That's what I want to do with my partner. Yeah, I'll just put it down there. What's another good badge to do? You need that Starstorm. We're gonna put Dizzy Attack in D tier. So the Dizzy Attack is not worthless because it stuns the first enemy, the enemy that you spin into. That's about it. You can use, if you're being forced to do a fight, you have Dizzy Attack, and you don't have a lot of like power, you can stun the first enemy go like before combat even starts. I think that's like, it has a use. It at least has a use that makes me put Dizzy Attack in D tier. All right, so let's do the Rigby badge. Feeling fine. Where am I gonna put feeling fine? D. I'm gonna put feeling fine in C tier. Feeling fine prevents status conditions on Mario. Now, status conditions mean he can't be poisoned, he can't be frozen, he can't be put to sleep, he can't be dizzied, he can't use repel gels, he can't use Volt Shrooms. But he can't be dizzied. If you have feeling fine and you're about to go fight Dark Koopas, that's not a bad option. That's really not a bad option. Dark Koopas are like a pain, and feeling fine makes it like pretty free even if you don't have like Quake badges or AoE or items. And also Rigby has used feeling fine in the past for a guaranteed peril setup on Final Bowser. And I think that sort of niche scenario where you can guarantee peril on Bowser, sure, you might have to use like a bow fight or something instead of Watt, but I think that sort of niche situation kind of pushes feeling fine up from being like absolutely useless to being like, it has niche uses and it can be useful. It can be beneficial, even if it's not always beneficial. Similar to feeling fine, this is healthy. This is a new badge that was added to Randomizer. It's an unused badge in the base game. It has the same effect as feeling fine, except it doesn't always work. It only sometimes prevents status conditions, so we're gonna put that in worthless, because why? At least be consistent. It should be D tier. No. The lack of consistency pushes it lower than D tier. I'm sorry. Let's talk about these badges. Close call, pretty lucky, lucky day. So these badges make it so enemies can miss you. And that's kind of nice situationally. Not good against Bowser because of how he heals. I'm not going to go too deep into that right now, but like, don't equip these against Bowser. Elsewhere in your playthrough, like, or in a randomizer, you might reasonably equip these and like, oh, they missed. That's funny. Or hey, it saved me like a live stream or something. It's not bad. They're not bad. It's a random chance that you don't take damage. Like, I almost considered putting these in like D or worthless until I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, but that's only considering like the ending. Yeah, like you don't equip these against Bowser, but you can equip them elsewhere, and I think that's fine. And I think they're all kind of equally like, sure. Sometimes the enemy misses you. That's cool. That's fine. I don't mind that. You know? Let's go with an obvious badge here. Yeah, early close call can be pretty good. The difference with the last two, so pretty lucky is 10% and lucky day is 20%. Close call is 30%. And they do all stack together for, it's multiplicative, so it's like a little bit under 50% if you have all of them. So, yeah, not bad. What was I gonna do? Damage dodge. S tier. Well, maybe A tier. No. Damage dodge is too good. Like, damage dodge, it makes it so you take less damage when you block. So normally a block blocks for 1 damage dodge makes it 2 makes it 3, and having 3 equipped makes it so you take 4 less damage, and now you can have 3 damage dodges and have them all equipped. And that's pretty strong. And it doesn't really stat. It's applied after last stand because it's applied to the block. So like, yeah, it's just all or nothing for defense. It's really good. And you can combine it with other badges like PFD down. Like, I put PFD down in A tier because the defense decrease like kind of hurts sometimes, but with damage dodge you make up for it. Like, it's just too good. And you can have a setup now with all of the new badges, 3 damage dodges, and 1 defend plus with Danger Mario. You are invincible. Because with Last Stand, Bowser's strongest attack does 10 damage. With Last Stand, that goes down to 5. If you have a defend plus, it's applied before Last Stand technically, so it'd be 9 cut in half is 4. And then 3 damage dodges, and all of a sudden you're blocking for 4, and Bowser cannot hurt you. The song is loud, but it's also a good song, so I will just simply turn it down a little bit. Like, it's just so good. For a defensive Mario, I know that there's a lot of people out there that when they say defensive Mario, they mean equipping HP drain. And not just being invincible. So why would you want to heal pitiful amounts of HP with HP drain when you can just never take damage? And that's what damage dodge does. So I don't know what you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna just ban you outright, but come on. I'm getting kind of tired of it. Where am I gonna go next? You know, let's take another new badge here. Berserker. Let's take Berserker. It's very situational. But it is very good. It's +2 damage, but you can't really choose. You can't choose Mario's attacks. You can't use items. I actually don't really know how to rank Berserker. because I wouldn't use it very often. You only get basic jump, you get basic hammer. You obviously can't use it on Bowser. But cool concept, not super practical, yeah. I think I put it in B tier. Yeah, I wasn't sure about Starbeam because I didn't really read into it, but it, like, regardless, I don't think that, I think that not being able to use items is too much of a downside. That is a very good change for Bowser, but I think that not being able to use items is too much of a downside, generally speaking. It is very situationally good, but it is not like the best thing in the world. I don't know. You can make it work. You can definitely make it work if you have enough support, but that needing that extra support from like the S tier badges makes me not want to put it like higher than B tier. It's still really good. It's still a good badge, and it's like a free equip against, say, Tubba's Heart, right? Like Mario's guaranteed to jump on Tubba's Heart, and then you have Bo. It's basically a free win. It's a good badge. But I wouldn't use it all the time. I would need some level of support for it. Yeah, we're getting to like the more questionable stuff now. At least some of it. Some of it's questionable. Dodge Master, I'm actually gonna put in A tier. Dodge Master is a weird one. It's going in A tier because it's a Power Bounce support badge. And it makes Power Bounce even better. Like, Power Bounce is already an S tier badge, but with Dodge Master, Power Bounce becomes somehow better than S tier. If you combine the two, I don't know. It increases your maximum cap on enemies effectively, while making action commands easier, sure, but Power Bounce is going for longer is just such a big deal that it needs to be up here. Let's honestly just like hammer out some of these really obvious badges. It's Berserker Tank. It's kind of hard to explain everything about it, but it does give Mario more damage. Dodge Master and Quake Bounce. I'd be interested to see like how much that helps it. Yeah, blocks being easier on Bowser is also really nice for Dodge Master. But that's like the main point is Power Bounce. Like I'm putting it up here just because of Power Bounce getting better, honestly. Yeah, thank you, Pete. All right, so let's take, what badge do I want to take next? I mean, I could just grab some worthless stuff, right? Like, who cares? Who cares? Flower Finder, Heart Finder. No, Payoff definitely goes down here. I low-key think Money actually goes in D tier. So Payoff, for those that don't know, it gives you more coins the more damage Mario took in that battle. So, who cares? Heart Finder and Flower Finder just drop higher chances of dropping hearts and flowers. Money giving you more coins can actually be fringe useful. So that's why I'm putting it in D tier. Like, it can be useful. Speaking of getting more money, I'm gonna put Refund in C tier. just because getting money back from using items in battle means you can buy more items, and it all kind of like chains together, and it's really effective. Refund is good. Refund is very good and fair, and it's also usually very cheap. So I would tend to equip it early if I have it, especially when you're using a lot of items early game. I know people like this badge. Where do I put hammer throw? Okay, hammer throw goes in D tier. Hammer throw can be good. Early game, if you get a hammer seed, you get super hammer and ultra hammer. You have regular boots. You need to fight blooper. Hey, hammer throw's pretty good. Did you pick it up that early? Probably not. But if you did, it's all right. It's a pretty good option. Yeah, hammer throw is just unfortunately like not. It doesn't really do anything. It's your hammer damage as a projectile. As a single target projectile. It's good. It's like good if that's your only option. And unfortunately, that is almost never your only option. This one is going to be interesting. I actually... Alright. So we have 3 badges here. We have bump attack, first attack, and spin attack. These 3 badges delete enemies if you wouldn't get experience from the fight, and you would otherwise encounter them. First attack and spin attack require you to do certain things, like first strike them or to spin into them. Bump attack is just like walking into them. So I'm gonna put spin attack in worthless. Okay. I'm putting spin attack in worthless. It's a very funny animation. But I don't consider avoiding encounters to be that useful. It has a, well, okay, I'm gonna put it in D. No, I'm gonna keep spin attack in worthless. Because it's easily the hardest one to make good use of. Because you can't just like sit and spin while an enemy like goes towards you. There's other reasons, but that's like the big one. First attack and bump attack, I'm gonna put them in D. Because it is sometimes useful to be able to delete enemies. Let's say you're doing a late chapter 1 and it's low scaled. You can avoid all of the encounters. Like in the pit, you can just immediately delete enemies. It works for the pokies and the ruins also. If you're like a decently high level and it's a chapter 1 scaled ruins, like it fringe use. Also, bump attack and first attack can be used with a glitch in chapter 3 to skip having to use the first ruins key or the first Tubba's Castle key. I have never been in a situation where I was able to do that, but it is possible to skip a Tubba's Castle key with bump attack and first attack. And because of that, I will not consider them useless. Because of that alone. Similarly, I'm gonna put Chill Out in D tier. Now, does not getting first struck, like guaranteed that you would get first struck, it becomes a neutral encounter. Does that matter? Basically ever. No, because I assume that people are going to, like, this is based on people being good enough to avoid first strikes anyway. However, with Chill Out, With chill out specifically, you can get Clippy off of a bullet bill to get a check that otherwise requires Bombette in Chapter 1. Because of that alone, it's going in D tier. That is the only reason that I'm putting it in D tier. So it has a single use, and it does the one thing, and it does the one thing it is supposed to do. So we're putting it there. Okay. We're kind of actually narrowing down the list quite a bit. Have I done that before? I have. I've done that probably half a dozen times. Where I just don't have Bombette, but I can do that check with Lackey if I had chill out. I mean, half a dozen times across how many randomizers have I done? 266 randomizers. Yeah, I've done that glitch exactly like 6 times or something. Quick change. I'm leaving quick change for a little bit. Just don't get hit. No, but see, the problem is that you wouldn't be able to get Clippy off of the bullet bills without chill out. So it's just, you need it for that one case. All right. Shrink Stomp. D tier. No. Shrink Stomp is C tier. I was thinking it's only useful against the heart, but it's also useful against bloopers. Shrink Stomp is useful on Super Blooper, Tubba's Heart, and that's basically it. As long as you're able to shrink them. If you shrink stomp Super Blooper, it will never charge and it can't spawn babies. If you shrink stomp Tubba's Heart, you know, it's very effective and it does basically no damage. Well, not basically none, it does half damage. But it's very effective on Tubba's Heart. 90% chance it works. And then you can take a hit. And on Super Blooper, it makes the fight a lot easier. Also, since I just said the enemies that you would use Shrink Stomp on are Tubba's Heart and Bloopers, this is Shrink Smash. It goes in, yeah. You can't hammer those enemies. And those are the only enemies that you would even bother trying to shrink? Yeah, no. Shrink Smash is pointless. I guess similarly, we have another status badge here. We have Sleep Stomp. Sleep Stomp, I'm going to put Sleep Stomp and Dizzy Stomp in C tier also. They are effective on certain enemies more than others. Knowing which enemies they work on, they are useful. And if you're fighting like a really high scaled like Chapter 7 Junior and just want to like YOLO Sleep Stomp Dizzy Stomp to try and stun him, like, it's not a bad option, honestly. It's effective at they're effective at what they do. They're useful early on, and they're just useful on some certain boss fights. Niche, but like they have a use. Kind of similar to like Feeling Fine, so, and Shrink Stomp. Also Spike Shield. Spike Shield I'm also putting in C tier, because it is like It is very niche. It is most of the time only useful for Chapter 8 Junior. Unless you really want to jump on Pokies. Like, yeah, that's about it. Jump on Pokies or like Spike Tops or Spinies. Like, it's so fringe useful that I feel like having Spike Shield is not... It doesn't make enough of a difference on an average seed. But if you see it, you'll probably still want to like pick it up just in case. The plants in Forever Forest, Axel. But also, like, why are you fighting those enemies? Fire Shield for lava. I'm putting Fire Shield in B tier. Because Fire Shield doesn't just prevent you from taking damage from jumping on stuff, but you also take less damage from fire attacks. And taking less damage from Bowser's fire by having Fire Shield equipped, there are setups. It requires a lot. It's like other things in B tier. It requires a little bit of extra help to make it like really good. But if you have that extra help, Fire Shield is what makes that combination of badges like broken. So like Fire Shield, PFD down, having access to Water Block, that gives you a guaranteed way to manipulate peril on Bowser. So it has a niche, but it's a good enough niche that with all the extra support, you can't do that setup without Fire Shield. Yeah. Unfortunately, Ice Power is D tier. Like, Ice Power kind of falls in that same line of it does, its thing. But its thing kind of sucks. Ice Power's main use is to be able to jump on Lava Piranha Phase 2. But if you're playing a randomizer, you probably have other ways of dealing with Lava Piranha Phase 2. Or you're just not going to fight Lava Piranha because you're going to do LP skip. So Ice Power it has a niche. Its niche is unfortunately bad. It's not worthless. It's not worthless. Because if you do have it and you are fighting Lava Piranha, you are probably going to equip it. But that's the only time. And we have another ad. Because I've been talking for 30 minutes about random badges, and now we're down to like the real garbage. So while the ad is playing, is there anything that anyone wants me to revisit real quick? Because I can take a little bit of time to revisit like a badge that we've already talked about. I think I've kind of gone over a lot. But yeah, like most of these badges are pretty... I feel like a lot of this is like not that surprising. HP, FP up. HP up and FP up are up in S tier because you usually get them at a discount. Like, you're very likely that they're either vanilla or discounted. So leveling up BP means that you can get multiple levels of HP and FP using the badges. Or it just being super flexible on its own. Like, I would not put HP up and HP plus and FP plus without, or really any lower. D for money money. Mostly just that you can use that as a way to get coins. It's a money is good if you really need some extra coins. And there's a few areas in particular where I could see making use of it. It has a use, and I don't think that use is bad. Even if it is very niche. Early money, yeah, could be good. Now that we're back from the ad, this is gonna be a little weird. I'm gonna do these all at once. Mega jump, mega smash, power jump, power smash, super jump, super smash. So it may look a little weird, right? Mega jump and mega smash, the problem with them is they're usually very expensive, but they are very strong. And that's why they're in B tier. They're still very strong, but they're kind of held back by how expensive they are. Power jump and power smash are usually pretty cheap, but they don't do enough. Because once you have as soon as you have 2 damage increasing badges like Power Plus, All or Nothing, PFD down, or even just equipping Power Rush. If you have Power Rush, then Power Jump is strictly worse than just Jump times 2 on an enemy with no defense. So Power Jump loses its effectiveness way too easily, even if it is very cheap. Super Jump and Super Smash are the new badges. They're +3 effectively to your damage output. They're pretty cheap. And honestly, that +3 holds an increase in value much longer because you need 3 damage increasing badges to make them obsolete. The reason that I'm placing them higher than Mega Jump and Mega Smash, even if they do less damage, the cost effectiveness of them is going to make them more useful on average. So, like Mega Jump's baseline uses 6 FP. So it can go down as low as 4 or up as high as 8 with balanced random. Ignoring random chance of being 1 or 2 or whatever. Whereas Super Jump is going to range a lot lower. You can get a 2 FP Super Jump pretty often. And then that's just with regular boots, that's doing 5 damage for 2 FP or 3 FP. Pretty good. And it only gets better. And unlike Power Jump, it doesn't get obsoleted immediately by Power Rush. It's still not much better than Jump times 2 with Power Rush equipped, but it's not obsoleted by the other badge entirely. So I guess I'm gonna put these up here. D down jump is also A tier. D down pound is B tier. D down jump is really good. Really good against Bowser, Crystal King, and General Guy. And it scales so well because it's jump. And Junior, true. D down pound is just not that good because hammer doesn't scale well. Honestly, C tier. Like, Mega Smash is definitely better than D down pound. Power Smash. Yeah, Power Smash on Final Bowser is the same damage output as D down pound. Yeah, no. D down pound is bad. it makes me kind of want to lower Power Smash also, but no. D down pound is bad. Power Smash has more uses than D down pound. No. The reason it's the same on Final Bowser, but Power Smash is better against every other enemy in the game than D down pound is. So it has that edge where if an enemy doesn't have defense, Power Smash is stronger still. That makes it like useful. It's just that by the end, like if D down pound is really your only option, that sucks. I don't know how that happened, but it sucks. And I'm sorry. Spin Smash. Yep. Spin Smash, it is just bad. It is just a terrible AoE option that, unfortunately, there's no saving it. Defend Plus. Defend Plus. Where does chat think I'm putting Defend Plus? Because we have held off on Defend Plus for this entire time. Like, we are down to, like, the real, like, bottom of the barrel badges for the most part. I see a lot of A, B, there's some C. I'm putting Defend Plus in C tier. Mostly because of its cost. Defend Plus is very expensive for giving you one defense. It's just not good in Paper Mario 64. It's too expensive. Yeah. So Vanilla Defend Plus costs 6 BP. So it's going to range on average between 4 and 8. Where you could just equip Damage Dodge for a lot less. Typically. Yeah, more expensive, worse Damage Dodge. Also because it's defense. The defense gets applied before Last Stand. And you're probably using Danger Mario. So since the Defense Plus is applied before Last Stand, it may not even do anything for you against an attack that does an odd amount of damage. So like, let's say an attack normally does 7. Defend Plus means it does 6. Then Last Stand kicks in, and it's still doing 3. Whereas if you didn't have Defend Plus equipped, it was doing 3. It's just so pointlessly bad that it's useful enough to put it in C tier. And that's about all I can give it. It is not as bad as the things in D tier. But it is definitely not as good as anything in B tier. So I'm kind of just throwing it in C by default. Alongside like the lucky badges and stuff. Alright. Zap Tap. Yeah. I could almost put Zap Tap in D tier just because of Master. It wouldn't even be because of Fuzzies. It would be because of Master. But I don't think that anyone cares enough. Yeah, there's very little reason to use Zap Tap over any other option you have in the situations where you're using Zap Tap. You could... It's all... Okay. If it didn't cost 4 BP vanilla, maybe I would put it in D tier. Maybe. But it's 4 BP vanilla, so we know the range is going to be between 2 and 6. And I think even 3 is too expensive for what it gives you. Like, for 2, I might equip it. But I think even at 3, it's a little bit too expensive for the small amount of benefit. All right. Double dip and triple dip. Dizzy attack has a use for high scaled fights, but you just rarely have it. Being able to stun an enemy going into the battle is not a bad ability. It has a fringe use case. And speedy spin if you turn off. Speedy spin is because Peekaboo is also there basically. And they're the same kind of, they're like the same kind of thing. Where it's like you should just use the setting, but if you don't use the setting, it's still worth equipping. Spin attack is less useful than bump attack and burst attack because it doesn't let you do the glitch to skip the first tubba key. That's literally the only reason. And if that glitch didn't exist, I'd probably put bump attack and first attack down there also. But double dip and triple dip, I am putting these in B tier. Double dip and triple dip have good uses. If they're... Triple dip is rarely like cheap, but being able to use multiple items, like comboing a damage item with a repel gel, or just like healing and repelling, or doing something else, probably with repel gel, or maybe a hustle drink if you're being creative. Like, there's things that you can do with double dip and triple dip. It's pretty good. They're pretty good. Especially in blitz settings, which this is not necessarily like focusing on blitz settings, but I would definitely, if I see double dip and triple dip, pick them up just in case. Obviously they need to be like discounted, but if they're discounted a little bit, like, oh, double dip is like 3 FP or 2 FP, like, that's pretty good. I would use it if I had the items to make use of it, and I would be pretty happy about it. Like, they're definitely more useful to me than a lot of other things. Like double dipping 2 shooting stars, even if you only do that once in a seed, that's a good use of shooting stars. I don't know, I really like those badges. I don't have like a better explanation for it other than they're really good. They're really good, but they're not like broken because of Mario's inventory size. If we were accounting for item pouches, if we were accounting for item pouches getting you 20 item slots or inventory slots, these would probably be like A tier, maybe even S tier. So they're just really good badges. Especially being able to, like, if your damage output is low, being able to just like triple dip out 3 shooting stars for 18 damage. Pretty nice burst. to like finish off Bowser or something. Okay. Do I do these? I think I do these badges. I don't think there's really like. Well, okay. Maybe. I'll do it that way. I can. Okay. I'll put Crazy Heart in D tier. Happy Heart still sucks. Like, Happy Heart is still not good enough, but Crazy Heart gives you what, like 3 HP when it procs? That's pretty good. Happy Flower is... it just doesn't proc enough. But getting FP back is nice if you don't have items. But usually you have items to heal, so... I want to put them in Worthless because usually you're going to be using items to heal. But in those edge cases where you just aren't finding stuff, maybe you're playing like mystery only or something, these badges can be good. I still wouldn't use Happy Heart, but Crazy Heart is enough of a heal when it does proc. Like 1 HP doesn't matter even if it's not procking every turn. But like 3 once in a while, like that kind of matters. And then like, okay, Flower Saver and Flower Fanatic, they need to be like good BP cost wise, but they're like reducing FP cost is really nice, especially when FP cost is random. I'm putting them in C just because like while they do need to roll well, when they do, they're pretty good. And that kind of like balances it out. We're down to the final 7 badges. So... quick change. I'm actually just going to throw that in A tier. Based on randomization. Based on like average, I guess. Quick change I'm putting in A tier because being able to just like swap your partner on the fly is almost invaluable. Like being able to just like swap to Bow or like swap between Bow and Watt for like final Bowser. You can turbocharge and then like out of sight the next turn, or turbocharge, water block, out of sight, like just like do all these things without having to wait turns in between. Or you're fighting the Dupla Ghosts on Shiver Mountain and you're stuck with Cooper. And then you said, well, what if I wasn't stuck with Cooper? Because I have quick change equipped. Or maybe you get thrown into a fight accidentally or something. Like, oh, let's hypothetically say that there's a loading zone randomizer. Because there will be. You walk through a door, you're in a boss fight. Well, I hope you had the right partner out. Unless you have quick change, in which case it doesn't matter. There is a very good reason that in TTYD, quick change went from 4 to 7 BP. It is a very good badge. If your partners are your main strategy, it is a very good badge. All right. So for the final 6 badges, I think we're gonna do these. Should we start from the left and go to the right? Should we start from the right, go to the left? Let's start with the new one. Attack effects F. This badge is S tier. easy S tier. It's so good. You really just can't play the game without it. If you don't know what it does, I'm not going to explain it, but it's like the freest S tier. Right to left. All right. Attack effects E. I think this one is actually probably also S tier, but I don't know. I could see putting it in A tier. I think I'm just gonna leave it in S tier though. Attack effects E is like a free equip. Like, you get it, you're probably going to equip it almost every time. There's really no reason not to. Attack effects D, I'm gonna throw that in. I'm gonna throw it in D tier. I don't think you're ever equipping attack effects D unless you have all of the other attack effects badges. It's just not like something that I would ever personally do. It's not something that I want to hear. So I'm just gonna it's funny if you hear it like once every like 20 sound effects, but I don't know. It's just not something that I think about. It's probably like the most forgettable one too. Attack effects C, obviously S tier. I think we all know why. So we're down to the problem here is that I don't know what these are. Okay, and which one is this one? I forget which one is which on these. I would need to hear them. Like, I'm low key. I'm gonna throw them both in C tier. They're forgettable. Too easily forgettable. I would probably never equip them. I think that's about where we are. So that's our randomizer badge tier list. Any questions? I'll post this in at least my Discord. And we're gonna do a randomizer next. So this is gonna be the end of this YouTube video, this content. I hope you enjoyed. I think people like tier lists, right? If you're watching on YouTube, you should consider subscribing to the YouTube channel for randomizers and other content. Also consider using my code for Rogue Energy for 20% off your order. And that'll be all. Goodbye, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this tier list.